Welcome back to the White News Tactical Comedy Edition, where we break down Real Madrid's tactics with the same intensity we argue over who should take the penalties. If you missed part 1, go check out our glorious chaos of the 4-3-3. But today, we're stepping into something more structured, or at least that's the idea, because now we're talking about the 4-2-3-1, Alonso's grown-up formation, the one he turns to when he needs balance, control, and a midfield that doesn't feel like a trampoline. It's got a double pivot, it's got a number 10, it's got vibes. But as always, it's got flaws too. So, buckle up. Time to dissect the second most used shape in Xabi's tactical cookbook.
From the heart of Madrid, where passion meets purpose.
It was a legacy built by legends and a future written by rising stars.
Okay, next up we've got the 4-2-1-3-1. Ah yes, the double pivot deluxe. Perfect for those tighter games when Alonso wants just a little more balance, a little more structure, and a whole lot more midfield coverage. We saw this in action against Real Sociedad, Getafe, Barcelona, Marseille, and Kairat. Some were wars, some were practice sessions. But this formation? It's the adult in the room. The idea behind it? Give the team a secure spine. The double pivot helps stabilize the middle, keep transitions safe, and allow a number 10 to exploit any spaces between the lines. Basically, give the chaos some structure, like putting a suit and tie on your 3-year-old. Still wild, but formal. Defensive phase. In practice, this means the team presses in a 4-4-2, with the number 10 stepping up alongside the striker, because why have one forward pressing alone when you can stress both? The double pivots take control of the center, shutting down passing lanes and squeezing space tighter than a Bernabeu ticket in May. The wingers drop back to help the fullbacks on the flanks, because if there's one thing we love, it's wingers pretending to be fullbacks. And the center-backs are there, stoic as ever, ready to clean up whatever slips through. Build-up phase. The double pivot forms a lovely little square with the center-backs. Solid, structured, and geometrically pleasing. The build-up can start slow and steady with short, crisp passes connecting the back to the front, or, when patience runs out, one of the center-backs launches a ball over the top like a medieval catapult. And when the pivot decides to flex, an out-pressing move opens the field, breaking lines like they're splitting atoms. Tactical variety? We've got it, whether it's elegance or chaos. Xabi's got both on speed dial. Attacking phase, one of the double pivots shifts wide to support the attacking wave, creating more chaos and space for the number 10 to slip into the half-space lane, opening ways for his killer passes or deadly ball movement into the opponent's box. Meanwhile, the wingers drift inward just enough to make room for the fullbacks to sprint past them like they're late for a Champions League final. This all-in commitment to attacking doesn't just increase firepower, it also sets the stage for a vicious high press the moment possession is lost. Madrid doesn't retreat, it reloads. Defensively, it gives structure. Offensively, it unlocks central space. It's the tactical equivalent of choosing balanced mode on FIFA. Safe, but spicy. Pros: solid defensive transitions, clear attacking channels, creative flexibility in the center. Cons: if the double pivot doesn't sink, it's chaos. And let's be honest, with Real Madrid's injury and suspension list looking like a Netflix series cast, finding a consistent and effective duo in the pivot isn't exactly plug and play. Plus, the double pivot system demands physical strength and a strong mutual understanding, which is not always available. Without reliable box runners, your striker ends up stranded on an island waving for help. And if the number 10 gets shut down, the creative spark disappears, and you're left with static possession and desperate long balls that scream, "We ran out of ideas." Now, the players who make it tick. This system requires a double pivot with great physicality and the ability to read the flow of the game. As I said before, Tchouaméni is always there for one slot, the other can be Valverde or Camavinga. They both have the strength for this position. However, Valverde brings stability to the game, while Camavinga offers a more forward-thinking, energetic presence. In the number 10 position, both Bellingham and Güler can shine. Bellingham, with his trademarked late runs behind the defensive line, fits perfectly against teams that dominate midfield possession. Meanwhile, Güler becomes essential against low blocks, a key to unlocking defensive walls with finesse and vision. On the right flank, Trent should be the starter. With double pivot shielding him whenever he overlaps, he'll have more freedom and more space to whip in his signature crosses and dance by defenders with those ankle-breaking dribbles. As for the center-backs, if creative build-up is the goal, one name has to be there: Hushin. He's been one of the highest-rated defenders so far, and his passing range, especially those precision long balls, adds a whole new layer to Madrid's offensive construction.
Got other names in mind? I will let it to you to complete the lineup. And no, putting Ramos back from retirement doesn't count. Or does it? So, there you have it, the 4-2-3-1, the structured chaos special. It's balanced, it's flexible, and when it works, it really works. And when it doesn't, well, let's just say we get to see Mbappe doing cardio while the midfield has a tactical meltdown. But overall, it's a solid shape in Alonso's toolbox, one that brings control without completely killing the attacking spirit. The beauty of this formation lies in the choices: who plays where, who links with who, and how much risk Alonso dares to take. And yes, we've named a few key players that made it tick, but maybe you've got a different dream lineup. So, go ahead, drop your ideal 4-2-3-1 setup in the comments. Let's argue with love. Because if we can't agree on midfielders, at least we can agree that Atletico is still not winning the league. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button like it's a last-minute winner at the Bernabeu. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video, where we're diving into Alonso's wildest experiment yet, the hybrid 3-5-2/4-4-2 system. And hey, share it with your fellow Madridistas so they stop texting you tactical takes at 2 a.m. This is the White News Tactical Comedy Edition. Hala Madrid, and we'll see you in part 3. Hasta la próxima.